What I want is that a constitutional role for the armed forces must be a part of the Constitution so that you don't have to impose the fourth martial law. We have had 3 martial laws. Now, mind you, this again is my personal view and also a view of some of my associates. But that does not mean I'm going to thrust this on the people. All these things which are in my mind, we are going to put them before a legal body, have them examined thoroughly, and then after examination, put them to the politicians. And if the majority agrees, we will do that. If the majority does not agree, then we will not.
But then how can you put it constitutionally? Because by the 73 Constitution, to amend the Constitution, you need 2/3 majority of the National Assembly.
Yes. But by virtue of my being a Chief Martial Administrator, I have been authorized by the Supreme Court to amend the Constitution under the law of necessity.
Why are you doing this? Isn't this un-Islamic?
No. Yeah. If you take it from the very critical angle, the Constitution itself may be un-Islamic. But the role of the armed forces cannot be un-Islamic because the armed forces are there for the security and the sagacity and the safety of the nation.
How do you see their role? I mean, how many seats will they have, for instance?
None. I do not expect that the army generals will come and sit in the National Assembly, no. What we foresee is that the army and the armed forces, the top echelons, would be directly owing their allegiance to the President of Pakistan, would at the right time be consulted, and if the situation so demand, they would act accordingly in accordance with the instructions by the President of Pakistan. This is what I foresee.
But how does that reconcile with the Islamic democratic system?
Our present system is also not totally Islamic. So a little bit of hodgepodge and a little bit of hodgepodge will remain hodgepodge.